Hit that notification bell too, unless you want to miss out and hear about it later.
This is the show you don't want to miss. Every week I'm here waiting. The energy, the conversations, it's about to get real.
Tick tock, I swear this is the longest minute of my life.
Tick tock, tick tock. The panel tonight's gonna be fire. I can feel it. Who's joining tonight? Let's go. Hit that subscribe button already.
Yo, grab your popcorn, grab your drink. It's about to go down. You're not ready for what's coming. I got my snacks, my drink,
And I'm locked in.
Let's get this show started.
All right. Quiet down. The show's about to start. Everyone ready?
Silence. The Lion's Den is about to begin. Let's go.
All right, and we're live.
Going on, man.
Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? My boy Kanal had a couple of glasses of wine. Feeling a little frisky tonight. We know not too many people are on, whether you guys are out there doing your thing. I mean, it is starting to become Thanksgiving, the holiday season. You guys might be out there planning, watching college football, but we see there's a little gap, not too much entertainment online. So we felt like we were going to get on and chop it up a little bit about all things, whatever it means, travel, transitioning in life, changes. You know, I call it life lessons and growth in, damn, I'm stuck for a word right now, but you know, I have transitions in life. I think I've lived 5 lifetimes right now. So in my lifetimes, and I talk from high school on to, you know, about the time I was 20, went in the Marine Corps, that's another lifetime. You know, got out of the Marine Corps, it was in marriage, that was another lifetime. All through those lifetimes, I've had transitional changes when it comes to job, lifestyle, being married, being divorced, having children in my house, not having children in my house, being single for long periods of time. So each one of those, as men, we learn to roll with the punches, and I call those lifetime lessons, lifetime things to gain and to grow from. So right now, our brother Kanal is transitioning into being 100% entrepreneur, no umbrella. I've been there, done it, been there since 2011. I've worked for a corporation. Corporations hire me. And I know there's the corporate game thing that we played. And believe me, as a black man in corporate America, you have to be 10 times better. And they only look for one excuse to get rid of you.
And
so
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Kanal.
And you know what? This is going to be a real life conversation, guys. That I'm going to share some recent events that have just happened to me recently. Roll and Felix already knows about it because these are my two brothers in arms that I tend to talk to offline. And one thing to realize, guys, a lot of us, we do have a relationship outside of these podcasts. We do talk to each other. We do hang out, you know. So go out there and meet people, man, and explore those new relationships you can have. Because again, me meeting Fearless and knowing Roland, man, these guys have been a great value add in my life. A value add, if you know what that means. They bring substantial value into my life as big brothers that literally will drop knowledge on me. Even though at the age of 46, I'm still learning. I'm still yearning to become a better version of myself.
Hell, I'm 57 and I'm still learning. You know. Go ahead.
Today we wanted to take a different approach. We're taught to do things a certain way, and sometimes that certain way doesn't work for us. So for me, after 20 years in the corporate game, I decided, well, shit, I came to decide I was forced to make a decision to go out and branch out on my own. And right now, I'm going through a transition while recently married, and just recently had a kid. So all this is happening in real time. That is like now, I'm no longer part of the corporate America game, but now I'm exploring life as an entrepreneur. And it's been challenging. It's something that I'm not comfortable to be in because, again, all I've known past 20 years is working for somebody. So I'm personally going through a mental mind shift. Having an employee mindset is completely different than having an entrepreneur mindset. What do you think, Roland?
Oh, you are absolutely right. because it stops being what the man is telling you to do, because everybody's good at taking orders. But when it comes down to driving self and motivating yourself and doing certain things by yourself, meaning you got to get up and tell yourself, hey, get it. Let's get it in. Let's do what we need to do. Let's knock this thing out. Yeah, it takes a little more of a mind shift to do that instead of waiting for like a supervisor to tell you, hey, here's the itinerary for the days. Here's our objectives we need to achieve. Let's go ahead and get those done. So yeah, it's a total mind shift.
And the thing, guys, Roland, Fearless, and myself, we all have been or currently are at executive levels. So we're not a manager. We're more in the VP levels area. And even with my recent role, I was a VP. I was let go recently, not recently, but a few weeks ago. But it wasn't a positive let go. It was some bullshit. And now I'm still dealing with that bullshit. So I'm going through that transition. I kind of sat back and I just came home to my wife and told her, like, listen, man, I'm tired. Like, I'm tired of doing this shit back and forth. Like, I've gotten to the point in my life where I look at my resume, look at all the top companies that I work for. I worked for Verizon. I worked for HP, Deloitte Consulting Group. I worked for Microsoft. Did some contracting with Microsoft. My life been 10 years of a digital nomad, working for these top companies as a contractor, but also too, I had permanent roles. And just recently, I was a AVP at a HR tech company. And then I felt like my life was just being somewhat caged. I was forced to go back into the office. And now, guys, I worked remotely for 7 years. For 7 years, guys. During the pandemic, Roland, you remember I was out of the country at least.
Oh yeah, you were always out of the country, man. Yeah.
And I was so much out of the country to the point where I bought land in Dominican Republic. I have an apartment. I have a car there. I had a whole life in the Dominican Republic, and I still have it. But due to the recent role that I decided to take, it was about a year ago. The caveat was that I had to come back into the office. So, guys, going back to the office, being remotely for 7 years was a hard transition. Two, you forget about all the politics you go through, the office politics.
Oh, that's huge. The office politics game is a whole nother game.
And the thing too, guys, I'm quick to say it. I've always been the token black. I've always been the only black dude. Always, and I'm okay with that. I don't have nothing against that. It's like, hey, I could play the game, I could play the room, I could fiddle. But I know for a fact when I'm the only person there, that's my color persuasion and how things actually changes for you. Now, Roland, you tend to be more of a lighter complected brother.
Hey, now don't do that to me.
I don't know.
Don't do that to me.
I don't know if you experienced the stuff that I experienced as a black man.
It's a little slighter. It's a little slighter. I will tell you, I did have an advantage. Because a lot of people couldn't interpret what I was. And I use that to my advantage. But I always, within the system, always looked at my people as promotable first. So while I could shift and move around corporately and I knew how to play the corporate politics, I was always looking to, even as I moved up, replace my position with a brother of color or a sister of color. You know what I'm saying? So I did have some advantages being lighter. But I had my challenges, believe me. I still had to be good. I still had to know what I was doing. And I definitely excelled in the positions I was in.
Yeah. And the thing, one thing as a black person in corporate America, you have no choice but to work twice as hard and know twice more than the next person. I've seen people get promoted.
Oh, you just went dead for a second. You're back, I think. Say something again.
Can you hear me?
There you are. Yeah.
Okay.
It just sounds like you're in a hollow room right now. I don't know what's going on, but check mic.
What about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good. You're good right there. You just muted yourself, but you're good. Software-wise, you just muted yourself. Hold on, we're gonna have a little technical difficulty. Hey, Kanal, you mute there. Yeah, there you go.
Can you now?
Oh, that's perfect. Whatever you just did, that was perfect. You just adjusted.
Sorry, guys. You know what? I changed the setup of my mic. Now you guys remember I had that cone stick in front of my face.
Yeah.
Decided to take that now. So now I have the mic down towards the bottom.
Yeah.
And somehow I've been experiencing some connection issues. But anyway, guys, I'm glad that I'm back. We have some important things to talk about. And like I said, as a black man in corporate America, it's never easy, man. It's never easy. I've been doing this shit for 22 years. And I've always had to work twice as harder and know twice as more. And the sad thing is, I've seen people get promoted over me that knew less than me.
Facts.
I remember sitting in interviews where they loved me. Guys, this is before the video conference. This is back in the early 2000s when the HR loved me or whatever. But once I came into the office for the live in-person interview, I could see their facial expression and they realized I was a black man.
Exactly.
And the thing is, guys, listen, I'm not small. I'm not a small guy. So I have presence when I walk in the room. So I could see the fear. I can see the surprise on their faces, man. And I'm like,
shock and awe when you walk in the office.
Yeah. And I'm, you see me coming in a suit, coming in looking like, God damn, like who this dude is. But at the same time, I felt how uncomfortable some of them were. I felt it. And it's hard to continue an interview or any type of interview when you know that person's uncomfortable or they look uncomfortable. And I've been in this situation many times in my career, guys. I'm 22 years in the corporate game. I graduated in 2001. My first corporate job was at Allstate in Northbrook, Illinois. I'm from Miami. I've never seen snow in my life, Roland, until I moved to Chicago.
Are you serious?
Listen, I never had a winter jacket. Never had a winter jacket. Like living in Miami.
Wardrobe change moving from Miami up to Illinois. That's culture shock when it comes to the weather.
Dude, it was a culture shock for me because, again, guys, look, I had a 1993 Ford Thunderbird. Remember the Ford Thunderbirds?
I remember them.
Yeah, I had a 1993 Ford Thunderbird. I drove my car from Miami to Illinois. First time leaving Florida.
Wow.
And it's like, all right, I get to Illinois. This is fall weather, but for me it was winter because I just left hot sunny Miami to Illinois. Right. So now that I'm in Illinois, man, it's just like adjusting, and it was just like it was a culture shock for me. To see black middle class, black successful people, see a bunch of trees, hills, dude, all this shit was brand new to me. I will never forget the first time I seen snow rolling. I seen snow. I went outside. I stuck my tongue outside just to get that little taste to it. I did my first snowbird, built my first snowman, my first winter, but also I got my first frostbite.
Right.
So that was all in the left field, guys. My apologies. Going back to the corporate game. But after 22 years, man, and due to a recent abrupt ending of my employment at this particular company, which I'm probably thinking about suing. That's how serious this stuff is, man. And I just feel like, you know what? I'm just tired. I'm tired, man. I'm just tired of playing this game, back and forth game. I'm tired of the fake smiles, the fake laughs. People say they cool with you or whatever, but yet when shit hits the fan, they all disappear.
Oh, you right under the bus. First, it's the black guy.
Yeah.
Gotta be the black guy.
Oh, man. So, yeah, I mean, tell me, man. I mean, am I wrong to decide to, take a whole new faith of the direction and
get on myself? Everybody needs to have their own business. I mean, we can be exceptional at businesses. I mean, think about how entrepreneurial we were in depression. Our people always made a way out of no way. I mean, that's famous within a lot of our households. We make ways out of no way. We can stretch a dime. We could stretch a meal. If it came down to it, we did not mess around when it came to that. So in that respect, we have that entrepreneurial spirit. We know how to go out there and get it when we have to. Unfortunately, a lot of us go out and get it the wrong way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
when push comes to shove, I'm sorry, back in the 60s, a lot of people did a lot of things. I mean, even my family background has some mobster gangster stuff in it, you know, so it was what it was back then in order to make a dime, because a lot of the steel mills, a lot of the different things that closed down and started to move overseas. You know, Pittsburgh felt it heavy. You know, a lot of companies felt it. And the first people to feel it more so than any were Black people.
yeah,
We were the first ones let go back then. I mean, you know, diversity hires wasn't a thing.
You know what? We got a super chat from Darnell Elliott, a $5 super chat. You younger man need to listen to Black Man Travels. He's speaking facts. Being a Black man in corporate or skilled labor in America is tough. Salute. Guys, listen. One thing I've learned, being in corporate is a good thing. It could be a bad thing. It depends how you're willing to play the game. It's a fucking game. You play the game to win. Check your emotions, check your ego, and just play the fucking game. Because for me, I'm a nice guy. You know, I'm willing to give the helping hand. You know, I'm willing to go hard for a team. I've always been a team player. But also too, I realized that certain environments, certain work settings is not designed for me. And one thing I've learned is that when you're trying to control me, I've always been this way. For my mother would tell you, I don't like to be controlled. And even as a leader, I don't like to be controlled. So I'm always going to push back. And sometimes when you push back, people don't like that.
No, they don't. So you got to be 10 times right when you go to push back in the corporation. You really got to put everybody in a row and knock them all down at once. Because if you miss one swing, it's over for you.
And that's the thing. I've checked a few people in my last row, and I guess that didn't rub things. Well, they didn't do things the right way. And I was pretty much on the shit list.
Right.
But although I had great intentions of, moving things directly, sometimes they don't see it that way. And then one thing I've learned, they're going to do whatever they can to get your ass out of there. So again, guys, the corporate life, you could win, because I have a lot of guys who are currently winning in the corporate game, big time executives for huge Fortune 100 companies. That's for them. But my personality is not designed for that. And I think at this age and at this point in my life and my life experiences, I don't have patience, man.
That's one of the first things that go, brother. I'm trying to tell you.
I
as
don't,
you get
man.
older, you got less tolerance for just, like you call it, fuckery. Even in the workplace. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and what I was telling you and what I'm going to share with them is the same thing. Understand, when a company pays you a salary, they're leveraging your best talents against their company for benefit. So while they're telling you, oh, we can pay you $100K, they already have it in their head. They're going to make $3, $4, $1 million plus if they're going to pay you $100K. They're looking for the upside of what your talents and your ability does. So at the end of the day, your company is making money off of you anyway. They're selling your talents. You're representing their brand and their label by your talent. So at the end of the day, when you walk away, you don't lose those talents. You don't lose that wisdom you got. You just you use the brand to follow on your name. Now more people even in that industry know you. Why do you think they give you non-competes? They give you non-compete because now you're instilled in that industry. You've competed against the best in that industry, and you probably won deals for your company. Your name is out there. They do not want you to go and shop your deal that they're giving you at pennies on the dollar to somebody else that might give you a quarter to 50 cents on the dollar. That's why you're selling non-competes. But it's always going to be off of your back, your talent, your knowledge, everything. So the quicker you realize in corporate America, it's all leverage for you to make money for them instead of for yourself, the quicker you'll get off of that corporate rail and start working for yourself.
Yeah. And the thing is too, guys, look at, if you've been in the corporate game or you've been working for somebody for the past 10 years, look at all the skills that you've learned. Take those same skills and try to make a way where you could actually become a consultant and where you could do something on the side. They don't need to know. And that's something that I'm doing now moving forward. Listen, I'm always going to have a second and third gig on the side. And right now, although I still got to work for corporate, I have a 5-year plan that within the next 5 years, I'm done. You know, I already shared, Roland, I already shared my experience, you know, my new interest in the government contracting. I've been attending a lot of workshops and attending a lot of networking events within the government sector, but I still need to pay my bills. So guess what? I have a completely new perspective. I'm going to work just to get paid. I don't want no leadership role. I'm just here to make my money, because again, I got something else in the side that I know that I want to concentrate on and focus on and building. Because guess what? I don't see myself retiring here. And within 10 years, if I do well within this government side of the fence, government contracting, I'll be living in the Dominican Republic. 10 years. My wife and I, we talked about this. It's like, listen, if I could set up this business in a way where I could work from DR, there's no reason for me to stay here.
Facts.
There's no reason for me to stay. I could always fly back down if I need to attend certain meetings. But if I build my business the way it's supposed to run it, I don't need to be here.
Let me explain something to you. Take that talent, go over to the Dominican Republic, and open up a shop. You got less overhead when you're talking about employee wages. You can train them up. There you go. Same thing I'm going to do when I open up a shop in the Philippines. I'm going to leverage the income ratio to employee ratio, and I'll open up a shop over there to generate money while I'm still traveling and doing other things. I'm always looking for income stream. That's why I say I'm semi-retired. When you see my label, it usually says semi-retired. I will never retire. My brain doesn't work like that. You get what I'm saying? I'm always looking at angles. I'm always looking at something that I can possibly do to add to an income stream or two to make my life and my future kids' lives a little bit easier. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to stop 100%, but you do need to enjoy your life too.
Yeah. And the thing too, guys, listen, the past 15 years, I've traveled the world. I traveled the fucking world, man. I've been to 6 continents. And I lived it, man. And I'm okay within the next 5 to 10 years, shut it down. I'm okay with that.
Right.
I mean, granted, if I do travel, it's gonna be mainly family trips, cruises, back to DR, whatever. But I'm willing to delay 5 years of just grinding. And I don't even want to use the word grinding, of strategizing, putting myself all the right pieces in the right places where, guess what? 7 years from now, I could say, you know what, babe, it's time to go back home. I'm done. I'm completely done with corporate. Granted, I still need to work for corporate for now just to pay the bills, but I'm putting myself in a position where I could become a full-time government contractor, providing services, IT services to the government. Right. This is where the money's at for me. And look, for the past couple of weeks, I've been attending workshops at University of Georgia. I've been attending workshops at Georgia Tech. Like I'm literally exposing myself to different atmospheres. I'm taking classes on AI. Guys, like I'm retooling myself, reskilling myself to be to the point where I'm a full-fledged consultant for the government. And I've already started the business. I started LLC this week. Roland.
Congratulations.
Yeah, man. I'm waiting for the license came. I got my EIN tax ID.
Okay.
Now I'm waiting for my cage code to come in. Once that cage code come in, I can start making some bids, man. So yeah, 5 years, man. These next 5 years is just like see.
So
the next
wait. So what I was going to say is I've gone through my cycles in life. And like I said, I've lived several lifetimes. I call them lifetimes, which is where I've transitioned in life. So, I've done initial public offerings with guys. I know how to write IPOs. I know how to write grants. I've worked in government contracting for almost 15, 20 years in different industries to where I did FPOs or RFPs on business proposals that they wanted to have done, because everything goes out RFP to bid. They have to take 3 bidders. And like I told you offline, that as a Black-owned business, you are allowed to subcontract off of bigger companies and take a share of that award. It's mandatory that bigger companies use smaller companies when you go out for bid. They have to respond back with a smaller company in tow. So this is why I said you establish your bases, you establish maybe a little workshop to help push what your initiatives are within your edict of what you want to work with. Once you get all that established and you have a better understanding of government, you already know I'm a resource. So yeah, I know, Darnell, you've been working and I've been doing it, bro. I've been doing it in sales for a long time. RPs, all that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, guys. Understand, within the government, they have a earmark amount of dollars that goes to small businesses, and those small businesses, the prime contract holders need to allocate 8% of their contract towards small businesses, especially minority-owned businesses.
Correct. That's 2 strikes right there for you.
Yeah.
To get you, because now you're a Black-owned small business.
But also too, I want to position myself where I'm an expert, where I could get the larger deals. So again, that's why I'm retooling and reskilling myself in certain key areas. Now, yes, I have 20 years of transferable skills that I can use for the government. I'm creating a website, Roland. I'm creating a website.
Good.
Similar to how you guys see my Black Man Travels, I'm going to have one just like that for the government. And again, this could be a whole new shift of direction. I've been doing this for Fortune 100 companies for 20 years, doing all the social media ads, website designs, and everything else. So it's like, hey, why not just go ahead and do it for yourself?
Exactly.
I mean, granted, it's going to be hard. And just like this one person said, D Ward, next 5 years not guaranteed. Shit, tomorrow's not guaranteed. But guess what? You never know unless you try.
That's facts. You got to grab your nuts sometimes and jump out the fucking plane and see where you fucking land. And then ain't even guaranteed the parachute's going to open when you jump out.
No, but the good thing about our skill set is that I can always go back to corporate.
Oh yeah,
like my skills are so desirable, I can still go back and find a job. But I'm at a point now, Roland. It's like, do I want to go back?
Right.
Like, shit, do I want to deal with this shit?
Maximize your earning potential better as an independent contractor or your own business owner than you ever could working for a company. Like I said, the company is still leveraging your asset of your knowledge and everything else in order for them to make a profit. Most companies are going to make anywhere from 30 to 50% profit on labor. Listen to me. I've run VP level organizations. I know what the fuck we talk about. I know what we can do when we leverage fucking labor versus what we're bidding out for that labor. Okay. This is all I've done. You know, so yeah, they are leveraging you guys when you work for corporate America. Even what's the billionaire that does a lot of stuff offline right now? And he's already said that he was going to give at least 1/4 of his wealth away in donations to different organizations. I can't think of his name right now. Somebody in the chat, I know you're thinking of who I'm thinking of. He's an older gentleman. He's well respected in the financial community. And he still drives his old Mercedes Benz. Doesn't even dress like a wealthy guy, but he's a billionaire and everybody seeks his information. I can't think of his name. But anyway, he said too, a salary is a leverage to get you off of your dream and onto the corporation's dream. Meaning you can do so much better on your own if all you had was the confidence to go out and do it.
Yeah. And that's the thing, guys. It's like, understand.
Yeah, Warren Buffett. Thank you, sir.
It is scary. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You know, when I had that talk with Roland and Fearless, dude, I was almost breaking down, man. I'm like, bro, I don't know. I just had a kid. I'm just married. I just got married. And it's like, all this is happening. I'm like, well, one thing, guys, I'm gonna tell you this, man. I understand. I slept around. I've been around, bro. All the countries I've been on to, I've been around. But I'm glad that I'm married, man. I'm glad that I have a good woman beside me. And guess what she said? It's your time.
Yeah.
She said, dude, let me tell you something, guys. It's easy to go out there and sleep around. It's easy. Trust me. It ain't that hard. It ain't nothing to brag about. I've done it in almost every country I've been to. But when you with the right person that could breathe life into you, that understand like your mission and that is there to support that mission, even when you're not down. Because one thing I'm gonna tell you is being motivated. I mean, okay, let me put my thoughts into this. Motivation is a feeling. Not every day you're gonna feel motivated. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Not every day you're gonna feel motivated, but guess what? Discipline is an act.
Hello.
Discipline you gotta fucking do.
Yeah.
So as much every day I want to wake up, I want to sleep in because I don't feel motivated. My discipline makes me get up at 4:30 in the morning to go hit the gym so I could come home, take my kids to school, and start my day. So keep that in mind, guys. Like, motivation will always fade and come, but discipline is the act of doing something.
Yeah. I mean, even if you're in a boring job or you're doing something like this is something I've had several mentors teach me. And even as I was growing in sales and training people, motion creates emotion. You feel like you're kind of, stand up, move around, talk and move. Guess what? Your voice is going to sound brighter. You're going to start waking up and it's going to sound like you're more energetic. Motion creates emotion. You get what I'm saying? So when you move around and you're walking and talking, you sound so much better. There's still endorphins being flown through your body, even in the slightest thing of just walking around, even in your cubicle. If you have a boring job where you're in a cubicle, you know.
And also too, guys, give yourself a checklist to knock out. You'd be amazed how much you accomplish in 1 week if you visualize and write down the things you want to do. You can't just say it in your head like, hey, I'm going to do this, because more than likely you're going to forget. But if you take the time to write it down and put it in a place where you can see it every single day, then you have no choice but to do it. So again, whatever your goals are, yeah, there you go.
I write everything anywhere. I got notepads for days to recall things as I gotten older. But even when I was younger, I could recall anything off of just little notes on a pad. They were like, how the hell are you doing that? Yeah. I put things in order in my brain. And by writing them down, it reorganizes them. So all I have to do is look at one highlighted point and I can recall a whole conversation from that one point.
So guys, your boy is exploring something brand new. I'm leaving the corporate rat race. I mean, temporarily, because I still got to pay the bills, but I given myself a 5-year plan where I could be officially done with corporate, where this government thing will definitely be my lifeline. It will be what's going to change the direction of my life moving forward, but also put my sons on. Because trust me, once I know the system and once I know the game, I'm putting my kids on this shit.
And there's no reason why you shouldn't. But while we're at this segment of this conversation, let's tell them what your real name is. What's your new name?
Yeah, guys.
Right now, change that little blackmantravels.com. You need to go on there and go ahead and change that right now and tell them what your new name of your new life transition is going to be.
Well, guys, as you know, I'm no longer will be called Black Man Travels. I feel like Black Man Travels was a good part of my life in the past 10 years. It gave me an opportunity to explore the world and, you know, meet some amazing people and have amazing experiences. But right now, with being recently married and with a new son, my life has a whole different purpose beyond traveling. I mean, although I'm still travel, but it won't be my primary focus anymore. So now I'm leading with a whole new direction in regards to following a unbeaten path. And this is the life that I'm going to follow moving forward. And I feel like I'm done taking the safe road. I got to do what's best for me and take chances. So there's my new name. I'm using my name. My name is Kanal. Something that I've been watching a lot of YouTubers using their names. And I felt like, you know what? Hey, my name is strong. So why not lead with that? And also too, I can help direct other people follow their own unbeaten path. I think sometimes we were raised to follow the same path that someone else already created. And I think it's important that we create our own path. So this is my new name, Kanal's Unbeaten Path. And I'll still be associated with blackmantravels.com. I'll still be updating content, but a lot of my content will be around taking chances in life, risk, health, relationship, traveling. So yeah. So at this point, I'm no longer Black Man Travel. Mr. Aaron Ferris You are officially the only black man traveler. So it's like, hey, there's no beef with me. You can have the name. I think you do run a respectable brand over there, and I think you'll do really well with that name. So I'm no longer Black Man Travels, and salute. I'm done with that chapter, man. I'm good with that, and yeah, I even changed my YouTube name. So,
hey, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, so it's gonna
unbeaten path. First time on the live.
Yeah, so my channel will be focusing on my life choices, things to do to get better, self-improvement, taking risks, still traveling, health, relationships, but also like encouraging others, like, hey, take that chance, man. If you're in that rat race, if you're depressed, I want to talk about those things. So again, traveling will always be there. I think traveling is more a reward system to me now. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of young men out there, even men within my age group, could relate to what I'm going through or what they're going through. So there you go. No longer Black Man Travels. Salute Black Man Travels. It's been an amazing ride, but I'm done. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And here's the thing. As you guys migrate through this travel life and you migrate through your life, as you build your resources, as you build your assets, as you build up who you are and whatever field that you're in, once you get there, it's going to come a reckoning of where you go now.
Yeah.
What defines you? I work with millionaires. I've asked millionaires, what's your number? What's your fuck you number to get you to stop doing what you're doing and just relax the rest of your life? A lot of them didn't have one. A lot of them said they worked till the day they died. I'm of that opinion too, but I work smarter, not harder. I'm at a place in my life where I can work comfortably and not have to worry about it. And I just continue to add income streams. A lot of people are hustling and bustling, but they have to stay at a job to do that. I don't have to stay at a job. I put myself in a position almost 11 years ago to work for myself, even though I can represent multiple companies all at the same time based on my talent and what I do. So, and that's where I want to put myself in that position. Again, past 20 years, I worked for other people. Worked for, the Verizon, the Dell, the Microsoft, the Deloitte Consulting Group. I've done those things. Like, okay, cool. But now it's time for me to work on me, work on my business, work on my legacy, where to the point where, hey, if my son say, Dad, I want to do the same stuff that you're doing. Okay, cool. I'm going to teach you the business. Right. And I think now this is the perfect time for me to do it, especially after this last situation that I had with this other employer. And I feel like, I can't do it anymore. So I'm done. But again, guys, still got to pay the bills. So I'm still going to find a little contract job or whatever. But a lot of my attention and energy would be going towards the government contracting. Yeah, don't be a Jay Rillo. No, don't go on vacation, come home and get fired because you stayed 3 days later than you needed to. Don't do that.
That's a whole different story.
Don't be that guy. You know
that's
what I'm saying? That's a whole different story, man. I mean, you know what? Here's the thing. My former employer had an issue with me taking so many days off. That was one of the issues that they had with me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, these days were earned. These were my earned PTO days. But they had a big fit. It was just, dude, like I told you, there was a lot of stuff that was happening on the back end. And guys, be careful while you're at work, man. They're watching you, and they start assuming certain things. Don't tell people your business. Hey, keep your work life. Don't bring that shit home. Don't tell them what you do outside of work. Man, listen, they say, Dan, hey, how was your weekend? Nothing. I ain't do nothing. I ain't doing a goddamn thing, man. Make sure you have same old sitting in the house,
same old boring life,
barbecued in the backyard or something. You know what I'm saying?
You're amazed. You're gonna have that one employer that's jealous of this lifestyle that you're living outside of work.
Oh yeah, because they can't do it.
Yep. And the fact, a black person doing it better than them. What?
Talking about driving while black. Hell, you can't work in corporate America while black and be successful without somebody wanting to pull your ass over and try to figure out what the hell you're doing. So then you're always going to have that little spy sitting next to you trying to cozy up to you within the organization to figure out what you're doing.
I'm going to say this, man.
Secret sauce that you're using to be successful. but yet and still they don't understand. They can't steal that secret sauce. The secret sauce is you.
Yeah. But guys, again, we've been doing this over 20 years. 20 years. I've seen it all, man. So a lot of stuff that you probably experiencing as your first time in corporate, trust me, you're gonna experience more shit. And it's sad that sometimes you may have to soldier. Sometimes you may have to soldier check their ass. I've given a few guys the shoulders a few times walking the hallway. It's like, you know what? I ain't gonna let you bit. I'm not gonna let you bit. You know, punk me in the hallway. So guess what? I'm gonna lean this shoulder a little bit down. Then I'm gonna knock you out. It's like, hey, I've done that several times in my career, man. And it's just like, oh, my bad. Sorry, Matt.
Yeah.
I just bumped into you. It's like,
God damn, I can't fuck with that dude physically. So then they try to do the psychological thing. They start trying to do the corporate thing because they know they can't get with you physically. You just overwhelming, you know. So then they start getting on the scheming tip. And that's what they do. There's always somebody in the corporate that know they can't touch you any other way to try to find some kind of violation on you to get you up out of there.
I agree.
So I don't know if you want to discuss anything else. You want to hear?
No, I'm good. If you want to open the line, let's go.
We can open up the panel for a little while. We're not going to stay a long time. We're going to try to keep this within a 2-hour window or an hour and a half window. Yeah. We've started learning corporate YouTube analytics. Don't really like long lives. So
yeah, guys, we just opened the stream. So if you want to come in and join the conversation, more than happy to join. If you want to offer a topic, we're more than open to talk about it as well. We just want to talk about pivoting, making life changes, decisions where you want to take a different direction. It's okay with that. And don't ever be afraid to take that chance on your own. Bet on yourself, man. Because trust me, if a company can bet on you and pay your salary, why not bet on yourself?
Correct. Now, in the meantime, I had a poll going on in my room. I just ended it. It says, have you ever been let go from a company without real excuse? 54% of them said yes. 45% said no. The 45% that said no, most likely it's because you just didn't realize they let you go for really no real excuse.
Okay. Well, hey, we're gonna open the line up.
Boys,
we got everybody on. What's going on, guys?
Fellas.
What's up? What's going on, fellas?
Hey. What you doing in here, man? I thought you had a baby shower to go to.
Oh, man, I'm half drunk and half full with my brisket. I'm feeling all right. Listen to y'all, fellas.
Show everybody in the panel. Let's see that brisket, baby.
Oh,
let's see what a Dallas man can do with a piece of damn beef.
It's gone. It's gone, man. And she just said it's gone.
Good? Y'all just sliced that whole thing up. It was gone that quick. That means
people took it, man. They was taking plates home.
Okay.
I got some pictures for you.
Okay.
But I love this subject, but I'm gonna go the opposite way. So I don't think there's a lot wrong with corporate life, but I think there is a corporate mentality. And I think when they say what's the other word I'm looking for? Corporate, a way that they just act. So
mentality? I mean,
no, what is that? Culture, a corporate culture.
Okay.
So I think you have to kind of fit into that culture, and not every company is that way. Well, number two, what I found is, and especially us, I'm gonna blame us meaning Black folks. We start making money, and then we get comfortable, relax.
I agree.
Yep. And I know even with my company, like we have Pluralsight, we have all these things that they offer. Another place that is tuition reimbursement. And I rarely see us taking advantage of it. And I say, guys, man, I really try to go in with the guys. I say, hey, they are paying because to them, it's easier to invest in you to become a little better than go out and hire some other talent. Sorry. But we don't take advantage of it. And I tell people, I said, look, they're going to pay for your certifications. They're going to pay for you to learn a different skill. They're going to pay all of that. They can't take any of that away from you when you leave. They can take your job.
Absolutely not. They cannot.
But those certifications and that knowledge you get, they can't. Other things that we don't do. I see this. Like they'll say, hey, would you like to take on a different project, or would you like to do something different? We don't, because it's like, oh, nah, that's too much of my free time. We don't take on those outside things that make us better in our skill and then put us in different places within the company.
Right.
Another thing is we chase the money. And I'm glad that I did not. I had an opportunity when I was going to go into corporate world to go to GE, General Electric Aviation, making more money, maybe making about $50,000 more when I was starting. And the place that I went to, the guy, I said, why would I go here, man? I can make this much more money. And he was saying the work-life balance, you won't make as much here, but they haven't had a layoff since like 1940. And, they
tight.
care about you. Yes.
Yeah.
And it just so happened when I did not take the GE job, about 1 month later, they went on a layoff. And I would have been part of it. Said,
was this in the 80s?
This was in the 2000s.
Oh.
They had a new president come in, or whoever it was, and because that's where I learned the cloud at. I was actually at GE Refrigeration. They when you make all the refrigerators, they were in Louisville, Kentucky. They make all the refrigerators and they ship them off to like the Home Depots and Lowe's.
That's what my grandfather did, but he was a field repairman back in the day. They used to have field repairmen that will repair those refrigerators and stuff. I don't think they do that no more. But he worked for GE too.
Yeah. And I was about to chase the money. And I said, if I was younger, I might do it. But I said I wanted a little more security. But I think what happens is we mistake our coworkers for like our friends. And they are our competitors. If you were playing football, if you were playing baseball, they're your friends, but those people want your position. They want where you at.
Second string, third string, they want they want that opportunity to get that check.
Exactly. That's one thing. And I think another part is you really have to interview your manager. Mm-hmm. When I say my manager taught me how to manage up. It's easy to manage down. Manage up is, all right, if you manage down, you want to tell somebody how to do their job. This is what you need to do. Managing up is being able to manage up to your managers to let them know how to act, how to treat you, how can you be a better individual to learn more. So it's a difficult thing to do because you don't want them to feel threatened. But it's like the art of war. I don't want you to feel threatened and I want to take your position, but I'm trying to learn everything.
Take your position.
Yep. But I'm trying to learn everything to take it.
Right.
But if you have and I think that is one thing that we sometimes don't do. We don't manage up with our managers.
I want to give a blueprint in this, but before he comes on, I wanted to say this. In the military, they train you to train up. So it's a direct opposite of what corporate America does. So in the military, when you're trained to take over the place of the person that falls in front of you. So if there was a sergeant that fell or a staff sergeant that fell and so on, you want to be able to manage up, like you're saying. So when you go to corporate America, it's job security, not to train everybody how to do your job. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, that person can replace you. He's younger. He might take that position away from you for less pay and so on. So you kind of hold back all the information you can give that younger person in corporate America because you want to guarantee your position. So it's a little bit of a nuance, but Blueprint, go ahead and jump in on this conversation.
Yeah, just to kind of caveat of what Phyllis said about Pluralsight, usually that stuff is free when you're working, and that is opportunity for you to grow, and a lot of people don't take it, which is shocking because Pluralsight, for all you guys who don't know, that helps you get certifications. It's basically your training website to help you with a specific certification. And a lot of people don't take advantage of that because they feel that, well, if they ain't paying for the certification, you know, I'm not going to go in my pocket and pay for it, you know, let them pay for it. And, you know, sometimes you got to make that sacrifice. You know, I pay out of pocket right now. I'm doing pen testing and I'm paying out of pocket. You know, sometimes you got to make that sacrifice. And, you know, if you want to be better, you know, if you want that training, sometimes you got to come out of pocket. I mean, there's free resources you can use to be better, and there's paid resources, you know, you can be better. But the thing about it is, you need to be better. I've spent a lot of money, of my own personal money, to get certain certifications and make me better because I want to take my skill sets to a higher level.
Right.
And be better and be able to do the things, you know, like have my own business and doing cyber threat intel, you know, grabbing intelligence and selling it out to businesses and stuff like that, smaller businesses and medium-sized businesses that don't have these capabilities, so they can, you know, upgrade their computer systems and things like that. You know, that's something I want to do in the future, and do that in GovTech. But, you know, you have to spend that money to get that training and be able to do stuff like that. But there's a lot of people who don't, in corporate America, that don't want to do it unless they pay me to go to these trainings.
I mean, one thing to keep in mind, I mean, in the past, I've taken advantage of a lot of the corporate benefits that most people rarely take advantage of. For instance, I had half of my MBA program paid for. You know, I've gotten my PMP certified corporate. So there's a lot of things that you could definitely take advantage of, but sometimes there's always some type of like, if you do take those programs, you can't leave the company. So sometimes they use it as a way, as a leverage to keep you longer.
Yeah.
But if you do it right, you could walk away with your whole tuition paid off for your MBA or any certification you want to do. But also keep in mind, guys, if you're unemployed, there's tons of government programs that will pay for your certifications.
Yeah, so the only problem, I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say the only issue is a lot of times it's hard to, you know, you got to know somebody that knows how to find those programs, because they don't tell you about those programs.
No, I disagree. I disagree with that. You got to know the resources. Just go to your unemployment office, ask them for, like, every state has a workforce innovation department, and those and each of those states or cities have funding where you could actually allocate those funding for free tuition towards any new skills that's going to actually give you the skills to find a job. Guys, I've known people who got cybersecurity certified, being unemployed, having the government pay for it. So again, just do your research, guys. Darnell, I understand what you're saying, but we're not here to discourage anybody. It's like, go out there, research, use the Wi-Fi, use the internet, and just search. You'd be amazed. Once you find a place, go to the office. That's something that we're not doing enough. Go to these facilities and talk to them directly. You'd be amazed when they see a person face and you show interest, that you're willing to learn and do something, people will help you. I think the days of picking up the phone and call, it's not enough. You got to go there yourself and talk to these people.
No, I agree with that. You know, now they push everything online, but I mean, you are correct. You got to go to the, you know, actually get out and go to the brick and mortar. But, you know, like I said, a lot of times, though, things that I've run into, especially, and I'm just saying with like the VA has a ton of programs that helps veterans. The only thing is, half the time, even people in the VA don't even know. Like right now, I'm actually about to enter one of those programs, and I had to do a physical. My own doctor, like, she's like, I don't know what to do. Why you got to do a physical with me? I'm like, well, that's what I was told to do. She had no knowledge, no nothing. It's, you know, when you have government, the issue is you have bureaucracy, and you got so many people that don't give a damn, you know, about their jobs.
Listen. And I hear what you're saying, and we're not going to go off too topic on this. Even in your own business and the things you guys do in life, you must advocate for yourself against the machine.
Yeah, you're right.
You never take no for an answer, because that's what they told black folks way back when. No. And if we had just taken it then, we wouldn't be where we are now. You have to push against the no's to find the yeses. It's in sales, same thing. It's a numbers game. You're going to get so many no's before you get a yes. You keep pushing forward until you find that yes. You keep stating your case until you find that yes. I don't care what company I work for. I don't care what person I'm doing, even in customer service. When I'm trying to get a product returned back to because they did something wrong with it, I will not know for an answer. Let me talk to the next person up. Let me talk to the next person above that. I don't give a damn how long it takes.
And again, guys,
you got to have a dogged personality when it comes to your health, your life, your business, your family, everything. Dogged personality.
I totally agree with that. And the thing is, guys, there's a big difference when you go into the office and they actually see your face and they see your interest, they see your passion about, resolving this issue or learning something new. That will help you, man. I think the days of just picking up the phone and just calling, thinking you're going to get through, is not going to work anymore. Just go to the office.
Real quick, I got a $5 super chat here from D Ward. I want to go ahead and read that because it's perfect. Watch out for the haters. Who are your co-workers after you get certified? Because they're going to hate that you got that new certification, which means they already know, because they wanted it too, you're going to get a pay raise. So they're not happy for that pay raise for you. They're happy for that pay raise for themselves to go in their pocket for their families.
Which is sad, because they have the opportunity to get that same training, but they don't want to do it because they're completely lazy. And that's the problem.
Hey, Kano, I got something for you, brother. I'm going to tell you the real reason I had initially got my MBA. One of my professors was telling me, they were like, in doctorate. They're like, well, if you want to get grants, because my objective the very first time was to get a grant, go overseas and teach people like in DR IT work. So then instead of having Indian company, working abroad, they can have somebody, like in DR or in the Caribbean doing it. And so if you ever thought about that, because I know what we pay our contractors, it's a killing.
Yeah.
And even so, the objective was, hey, if I go somewhere else, they learn a skill. And then the way I get paid by learning the skill. And then I can say, hey, I'll get you to work for us and we can get a contract with like a company in the United States. You make a killing, because the people in DR will be happy because they're making about 3 to 4 times what they would make. Yeah. You're going to make money because the salary, how anybody doesn't know how contracting works, you make double what they make. So if they're paying that person $50 an hour or $100 an hour, 50 is going to the company, 50 is going to that person.
Absolutely. That's where that 50% marker is. I told you guys about.
I mean, dude, I can share one experience. I was consulting for one company. Ooh, I was getting paid $125 an hour. They hired me they hired me 40 hours plus. So again, guys, if I could do this full time on my own, shit.
That's what I said.
And the good thing about this, I could get multiple contracts. Is just putting myself in that position. And again, breaking away from having that employee mindset to having more of an entrepreneur business mindset. And that's what I'm currently going through now. And I had this conversation with Fearless and Ronin offline about it. It's a mind shift. It's a mind shift process. Like not thinking like an employee, like I need to have benefits and all this shit. Like, no, you can do that shit for yourself. Put yourself in a position where you can have multiple contracts where that alone could give you the benefits that you're looking for.
Yeah. Plus you're maximizing your value. Remember, you're being sold off at pennies on the dollar. You must recover every dollar that you work for, or every bit of your time, because what's not replaceable is your time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, the good thing about it is like each one of us, we're going through a different phase. I've gone through the single man phase. I've gone through the traveling phase. Now I'm in the marriage phase. Now a father for a 1-year-old. it's just different phases, like how you handle each of those phases. So it's either you have that winning mentality, like, hey, listen, no matter what the setback that you're going through, you're still going to win. You got to keep that mindset, keep yourself in a routine, don't get uncomfortable to the point where you're just lazy. Like, continue to shave, continue to go out, clean, take care of yourself. Those things matter because it's so easy just to give up. And, you can't give up when you have someone dependent on you.
That's true. That's a motivator in itself.
That's very, very true. And especially if you're dealing with this tech industry, it's ever evolving. You have to constantly spend money, getting new training. Just like me, I have to put aside a budget just to get new training, just to keep fresh, because it's ever changing. Kunal just said, he's doing AI now because everything is just constantly new and fresh and stuff like that. And you always got to be on the ball. I'm doing pen testing now, and this is just a junior pen testing. Then I got to do professional, and all this is going to mix in with the whole cyber threat thing. And then AI eventually is going to be thrown into the mix and stuff. So it's constant training. Once you get that initial certification, it doesn't stop.
Yeah. So guys, no matter what you're going through, if you got laid off, I got impacted, and now I'm currently unemployed. But hey, I got to find something that's just going to pay the bills. But at the same time, like I said, I created my LLC, so now I have an LLC, Ace Solution Groups. I got my tax ID. Now I'm working on getting my cage code for the government. Once all that shit goes through, that's it. I'm officially a government contractor. So it's up to me to every day start, looking at different contracts, understanding, the contracts, the RFPs, and putting biddings on those. That's a process by itself, but I still need to find a job that's going to pay the bills until this shit, flies off. And once this shit flies off, man, that's it. I'll be officially retired from corporate. Like, fuck y'all.
You have no idea how government contracting pays, bro. It's lovely.
I know.
Yeah. I worked for a small company. It was a medical supply and pharmaceutical company when I first went in. And this is me transitioning out of corporate America. I had a little friend of mine. She's like, hey, my president's looking for a sales manager or VP. I said, well, what's the name of the company? I said, this is a little brand new, and he was a African guy, brand new medical supply company in Riverside, California. I'm like, I've worked for Fortune 100 companies for so many years. I would love to take somewhere and apply best practices from all these different companies I worked for and a small company to see how fast I can grow it. So I went ahead and took the job as a sales manager. 5-year contract, because believe me, I had enough wherewithal. You're not going to hire me in California as an at-will employee. We're going to have a physical employment contract, which I wrote out. You can go back in and check it with your attorney and change whatever you want it. If you want me to come work for you based on my years of experience, we're going to sign this contract. Within 5 years, if I grow your company exponentially, you're going to give me a VP position. I'm going to continue to keep on working for you. So I had everything lined out between my percentages on commission, everything. Boom, 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 boom. Signed it. So I went in, started evaluating his company, see what he had the ability to do with RFPs, started responding to a lot of RFPs. And then I said, there's a lot of pharmaceutical RFPs coming out in the state of California. I said, are you able to bid on it? He goes, well, I have a pharmacy license. I'm like, what the fuck? Why aren't you using it? Well, I don't know what to do with it. Oh, shit. That's all you had to tell me. I started bidding on state level contracts for the whole state of California and a small black-owned business in Riverside, California. First one I hit was for tetanus and diphtheria, and that was worth $300,000 to the company. The second one I hit was for flu, and flu was for the whole state. Now, if you know anything about flu itself, 5 manufacturers of flu. And those 5 manufacturers usually go ahead and respond to every RFP that's out there for the whole country. So they already know what they need to produce every year based on what they're bidding out to the state organizations that are going to issue the flu. Well, me knowing government contracting, I already know they have to put out a history of all prior year wins. So I go back and do my research. I see what the level of margin is from profit to what they actually bid, and I knew what the ratio needed to be. Now, my boss at the time understood that he wanted a 30% margin profit across the board on everything. On little medical supplies, that's not a big deal. But on a pharmaceutical deal, it's not the amount of margin that you're looking for. It's the quantity number that you're looking for. So you have to lower your margin in order to win something that's going to supply a whole flipping state for it. He was still looking for 30%. I said, you can't win that. You're not going to win that. I had to educate my boss on how to actually win deals. So at the end of that, what we wound up doing was we bid it at 3%. I beat every supplier that actually produced the flu for the whole state of California. $7.5 million deal for the whole state of flu. Now I told him, look, we're going to win it at 3, but we're going to close it at 8 to 10. He said, how the fuck are we going to do that? I said, what? So we win it at 3, right? Now I have a guaranteed contract on my hand for the whole state of California for flu. I got 5 producers that make the goddamn flu. Guess what I did? I went back to those 5 producers and said, give me your best and lowest price one time. And the one that wins is the one I will submit the fucking whole deal to produce it for us.
Yeah.
They all came down on their prices to us. So that means instead of us winning at 3 when we first submitted the bid, we actually got the deal at 9.5%.
Now Ronin,
$5 million.
Ronin, let me add.
System, that's how you work everything. But you got to know the system to play within it.
And that's why, Roland, I will be talking to you offline. Yeah, I got to
you pay attention to T's and C's, but yeah, it's all a game, man. You know, and you can leverage people against themselves, and then they'll wind up having to cow to you at the end of the day. But go ahead, Darnell, or whoever was next.
I just had a question for you, Ronan. So, like, have you ever had to run into situations where because one of the things I've learned about contract, especially government contracting, it's real cutthroat. Like, you'll have companies that will
against the actual producers of the fucking flu, the actual manufacturers of the flu. I beat them. So yes, I'm competing against everybody. Everybody's my enemy. I have no friends. So yeah, but I didn't give a damn whether they thought they were my friends. I never thought they were my friends. I already knew what the deal was.
It's not even about that. It's about profit margins. Like basically, a lot of times, this is what I have personally witnessed is where companies have underbid contracts so much in order to win them, they're not even making money. They're actually losing money.
But that's stupid on them. Like I said, I already had when I underbid, I told you I underbid for a reason to win it, because I knew I can go back to the manufacturer and get the best price from them because they've already preempted thinking they were going to win. So they already produced the win, meaning they already produced those vials. What are they going to do with the vials? Keep them in storage? No, they want to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So they still need to send them out to somebody.
Right.
I knew the system inside it out. So there's no way I was going to lose even if I put in 3%, because at the end of the day, the people that were actually supplying me the price were the people I was going to have to buy from.
You know, so I mean, could you talk a little more about, you know, I know it could get a little, it's a lot, but could you talk about, okay, what is appropriate profit margin?
This is not a topic. Wait, hold up. This is not a topic for that. We're not going to do that. So it's like,
we're
having a free conversation. We're not going to go into details about government contracting and everything else. No, we're not doing that.
Well, I mean, I just thought it was educational, but if you guys don't feel that way,
but that's also something that's my experience, and I don't necessarily want to give it away for free.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, and there's other opportunities, guys. You can, you know, if you just do the research, like Kanal said, you know, just look online and, you know, see what's the opportunity like. You know, there was this one incident that I had when I was Uber driving up in Scottsdale, Arizona. I had picked up a guy in this
No, I'm sorry. I know that area.
Darnell, I know you hate Desert Mountain. I love them. They take care of me. But
No, Desert Mountain. You mean Desert Ridge up north?
Desert Mountain up north, where one of the group of celebrities are at, and the millionaires are at.
But go ahead and tell us the story.
Yeah,
go ahead and tell your story.
Here's the thing. I picked up this one guy. He was going to a golf tournament with Arizona Cardinals and Colorado Rockies. He was telling me his story. He was near broke 5 years ago until he got into e-commerce. You know, he got, I think, one of those government websites, gotten the whole golfing thing, him, his brother, and another guy. 75 employees later, he's making 110 mil.
Nice.
Yeah. So those opportunity exists. Matter of fact, the funny thing is, he told me as soon as I get out the driveway, make the right, drive only a few feet, he had something to show me. I did that. He's like, see that house right there? Yeah. Who lives there? Larry, the cable guy. I was just like, really? I knew Larry was up in here, but I didn't know exactly where. But
Right.
But during our drive, he was telling me how to do business and stuff like that, you know, how to be rich, you know, how to get into business like that. So sometimes you get lucky, you know, meet these people and they'll tell you how to do it. But sometimes you got to do the research and really look online and find out how to do these things and how to do contracting work. Like just listening to these guys, it got me interested in maybe after I do my training and stuff, maybe that's where I need to go.
I'll say this right now, guys. Within this space, I'm learning so much. You could contract anything.
Absolutely.
Anything. Yeah. I mean, you could contract goddamn toothpaste.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, but the thing is, you have to understand how to read the contract. Like Roland mentioned before, understanding the T's and C's and knowing when to execute and how to execute and how to know the profit margins, man. And that's what I'm doing. I've been attending workshops at University of Georgia. I've been attending workshops at Georgia Tech. Dude, listen, I'm going in not as a 20-year VP, you know, like know-it-all. I'm going there like, hey, I'm brand spanking new to this shit. Teach me whatever. I'm playing dumb. I'm asking dumb questions. But guess what? I'm taking notes like crazy. And I'm learning. And it's got to the point now where I felt confident enough where I could start my LLC, which I started it. Got my tax ID. Now I'm waiting for my damn SIC codes and my damn cage code. Once all that stuff comes in, I'm official government contractor. So, you know, but also too, I understand that I have to be realistic here is that, you know, I have to learn the business. So the next 3 months, if, you know, I'm going to learn. I may have to go for the smaller deals just to understand how things work. So hence, that's why I still need to find a full-time job. But guess what? The job that I get with corporate, dude, just hire me as a contractor. I'll work on a project. I don't want to lead nobody. I don't want to run no team. I just want to come in as a contributor. Fuck the leadership shit. I'll put the leadership shit towards my own business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Welcome Drew G to the panel. What's going on?
What's up, brothers? What's up? I'm at the place that Kanal and Fearless are going to be at over the next few years.
And what place is that?
The playground.
Oh, you got your son or daughter with you?
Yeah, man. I'm at the playground, bro. They don't get tired.
You know what? I got a place worse than the playground. You know what it is?
What's that, brother?
Urban Air.
What is that?
What is that?
Like those places that had those trampolines.
Oh yeah.
Jump rooms place.
Yeah, yeah.
They're 20 times worse than a playground because you're stuck in there.
Yeah, but a lot of them have like food and party.
Yeah,
I mean, they have good stuff going on there. Sometimes I know the ones in Vegas do.
Now, see, the one in Georgia.
Interested in way early in life, swimming.
Oh man,
they were swimming since they were 2.
Yeah, the earlier you get your kids into swimming is.
I would have them at the pool longer than I can have them anywhere else.
Yeah.
They love being in the water, and the kind of exercise and the shape these kids were in was phenomenal. By the time we moved to Hawaii, we were stationed in Hawaii. My oldest son was swimming out to the reef, because in Hawaii there's a reef that breaks and then it comes into the shore and breaks again. My son was swimming out to the reef that was offshore where the water broke initially. And I'm like, yo, and he was only 8 years old. I'm like, yo, man, get your ass over.
Well, my two other kids know how to swim. Even Gabriel, he has autism. That was a huge priority for me, for him to learn how to swim, because most autistic kids tend to drown. So when he was 3 years old, we put him in swimming lessons. Now he can swim, but that was like a huge push. Like, hey, you got to know how to swim. My oldest, he could swim. So now the 1 year old, not yet. We'll probably start putting in the water next summer, so he can start learning how to swim.
Hey, Kunal, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
So a second ago, you mentioned that you were getting your DUNS and cage code numbers. How are you getting those?
I'm getting it through. Oh shit! You're going to put my business out there, man. I'm getting it through. Oh shit! Damn. Why can't?
Are you going through a company, or are you going through?
No, I'm just doing it through my. Going to SAM.gov. I'm going to. Well, first I had to get my my DUNS, so I had to go to my Bradley Street codes. Yeah, I had to get those taken care of. Then once that was taken care of, I went to. Where's my notepad?
There you go. There you go, boy.
Yeah, man. It's like I gotta look for it. But bro, we gotta talk offline, man. I don't want to give out my special code.
Well, I'm gonna give it to you for free then.
Go ahead.
Because I don't know which route
I'm not paying anybody.
Okay,
I'm not paying anybody.
So just to let the whole panel know and let the world know that there's an organization. It's called PTAC. If you're not getting through PTAC, basically that's the government. They do it exactly for free for you. They set everything up for you. PTAC, they're in every state. If you just Google your state, it's PTAC, and that's procurement. Technicals, I forget what it's called, but basically when you're trying to become a government contractor, you go through PTAC. They'll set you up totally for free and do all the legwork for you.
Oh shit. And it's nice. So what is PTAC?
PTAC. Look it up right now. Whatever state you're in, every state has a PTAC. So you're like, I've never told y'all guys this, but I've done this for 20 some years.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. Government contracting is so lucrative. You have no idea.
Hey man, we need to talk, man. Shit.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get into it. I mean, well, let me ask you this. Like, based on your 20 years experience in doing this, what has been the pros and cons? High level.
So are you talking about it as a person? Okay, so contracting is like this. Are you talking about it as a contractor or the person who awards the contracts?
Yeah, no, because there's the prime contractor and there's a subcontractor, right?
Nope.
So the awardee versus the awarder is what basically he's talking about.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
About the awarder, you want the money.
Yeah.
You're bidding for the business instead of you offering something to the government as a. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like the government, we go out and we say, hey, we need someone to come clean toilets. And, you know, we put the bid out. We put the solicitation out there on Federal Biz Ops. And we say, hey, you know, contractor, give us your best bid. All right, cool. Bring in your bid. We rack and stack. Everything government is called LPTA. I don't know if you ever heard that term before, but it's lowest price technically acceptable.
Lowest price.
And that's why I had asked that question earlier.
Yep. Lowest price technically acceptable.
Play.
I'll give you guys a good I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before. I kind of get a kick out of it. But you go look at this movie. It's called War Dogs. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
Yeah. So War Dogs is a true story about government contracting. When these guys came in, they hardline low bid this huge contract. It was awarded to them, and that's how they basically got in the door. But long story short, They cut a lot of
Corners.
corners. Yeah, they were buying ammunition out of Ukraine
Romania,
or
yeah.
Romania, somewhere like that. And that's the one thing I can tell you with government contracting is that I've seen this several times. The person who's a sub that gets paid the least is the person that never gets paid by the prime. And that always is an issue. And that's exactly what happened in that movie. The prime did not pay the sub. The sub contacted the government, and he's like, hey, I'm not getting paid by the prime. What's going on here? We've done the work. And then it starts a whole chain reaction of like, hey, what's going on? Are you guys paying people? We paid you X number of dollars.
Yeah.
Yep.
So is it common that the prime doesn't pay the subs?
It's not common.
No.
It's not common.
No. Not anymore.
Yeah. But can it happen? Yeah. There's a lot of people who bite off more than they can chew. Happens all the time. There's a lot of people they look at government contract. Oh, this is so easy. I should be able to get one of these contracts. This, that, and the third. And, you get in there. And like I said, when you're dealing firm fixed price, you got to realize that, hey, if you come in there and you bid $20,000, we accept the offer.
You're short.
Yeah, you got to.
And you come in and say, hey, government, I need $5,000 more to complete this work.
They're not going to do that.
We're going to say, screw you.
Yeah, they're not
we
going to
said
do that.
firm fixed price.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's underbidding yourself, that you can get yourself into trouble and fall off the contract. You would still be obligated to either complete the contract or pay the money back so they can take the second place bidder. So that stops people from underbidding because you can't go back in and ask for more.
Yep. Or you can be terminated.
Yeah,
and
you can't be.
There's terminated for default and it's terminated for convenience. Convenience of the government is that, hey, we had a hurricane, so for the convenience of the government, we can no longer go for this contract. Terminates for default is like, hey, yeah, you're short. You can't continue to perform the work that we paid you for. We're kicking you out of here.
Level that we paid you for.
Yep.
Because they're going to have certain standards on delivery.
Ready?
And if you can't deliver at that standard and maintain it for whatever term that they're asking you to do it, you can be.
See, I'm loving all of this, man. Again, all positive energy, all positive, statements. I love it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but reach out to your local PTAC. Speak with your PTAC rep. That is a free service, because there's many times I've had people who have said, hey, I'm trying to get on with the government and I paid this company $10,000 and they did my DUNS number, they did my cage number, they did all of this for me. But I said, what?
Drew,
this is a free.
Drew, the way I learned about this is like, okay, of course, like if you YouTube the shit, that's a hot topic on YouTube.
Really?
It is. And everyone's selling courses, Drew. Like courses costing like $8,000, $7,000. Having all these master classes. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that shit. So guess what I did? I went to my local small business administration office.
Oh, good.
Here in Atlanta, Georgia. They invited me to a workshop. I sat in that workshop for 4 hours. And they say, hey, listen,
taking copious notes.
One of the first thing they say, do not listen to YouTube. This is like, don't do that. And they told me like, hey, this is what you need to do. You need to follow these footsteps. So I've been following the footsteps. But now you just gave me a whole new resource to reach out to where I could just go and learn more about. So Procurement Technical Assistance Center, right? There's one here in Georgia.
Yep. There's one in every state.
Yeah.
Every state has a PTAC.
See, I'm learning, and that's the thing. It's like I don't want to rush into this process. That's why, like, hey, you know what? In the meantime, let me just find another contract like where I could just, corporate contract that I could do just to pay the bills. But I want to learn this to the point where I'm really good at it, and I can make this shit more full time.
Yeah.
So,
what are you focusing or specializing in?
More.
Man, you just broke down. Your mic just broke off.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. You just muted yourself now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can't hear you.
Nope. You just you were good for a second and then you dropped off again. Nope. You muted yourself by software now. Nope. Damn, man, we gotta figure out what's going on with your mic. Nope.
Well, he's fixing his technical difficulties. So, like I said, I mean, there was a reason why I asked that question earlier today, and you know, you guys just hit on it. But like during my days with Mantech, they had won a contract called PTIDS. You know, it was the aerostats in Iraq and Afghanistan. Anyway, long story short, they had underbid the thing so much that they had to cut people's pay. So they were starting out. So people on that contract at that time, keep in mind this was 2013. On average, people were making like 160 to 180. When Mantech won the contract, they felt they could get people in at 70K.
Not yet.
Oh,
I can't hear you, Kano.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest thing with government contracting is underbidding yourself in order to win and leaving yourself without any profit margin. And then what you do is you wind up cutting up your employees and not being able to deliver, which means that company's going to wind up having a bad mark on them if they can ever bid again, but they're going to wind up defaulting.
Yeah.
Because nobody's going to work at those rates.
Yeah, they lost the contract as soon as they won it.
Do you guys remember like the early days of Iraq and like, you know, being in uniform sucked because
those were the golden days.
Those dudes were making like $250, $300, $80-some thousand to hand towels out, $175 to drive a.
We were offered $250,000 a year, a house. You could bring your family over. They would go to private schools. You get 2 vacations a year that they would fly you back home for $250,000 a year straight up.
Bro, I was so jealous back then, man. I was like, look at I'm here doing this shit making nothing.
Right.
Yep. Hey, you remember the head count at the DFAC? The guy just counting heads. He had a little clicker.
Yep.
Or he'll have a tally sheet. Yeah, that guy in 2008 was making like $120K just to count people walking through the fucking door.
Bro, there was a chick making $80-some grand to pass out towels.
Nope, not yet. If you're talking, can't hear you.
Like 86 grand to pass out towels, bro. I was like, what the fuck? You know, I'm making less than that to get shot at.
Hey, Drew, can you put that information that you just mentioned with the organization?
No. I'm watching your lips. No.
Hey, could you put that information in the private chat? The name of the organization you talked about?
Oh, you talking about PTAC?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's why when it came up for when re-up came to visit me all the damn time, I'm like, so Ellie, when are you going to come in and re-enlist?
Oh.
Yeah, I told him to go F himself.
You come through, we'll yell when you can hear you.
You know, I was like, why am I going to re-enlist? You know, because at that time, you know, people making, like you said, about $200K and shit, you know. I'm like, why am I going to re-enlist? You know, I mean, I would have re-enlisted, but I mean, there was other things going on, like, you know, like I had a chain of command.
Don't go into negative stories. We're trying to stay positive. We don't want to hear no negative stories tonight.
No, it's not. It's not negative. You know, like I said, it turned into a positive for me.
You know how commands can be. They're always usually negative conversations. Now,
yeah, but it turned out positive for me.
To leave and you made more money.
Yeah.
With that. You know what I'm saying? Nope. No, can't hear you.
But I just wanted to say a story of how I turned lemons into lemonade, you know.
Okay.
Basically,
on the lemonade side. Don't go on the lemon side.
All right. Well, that's pretty much the lemonade side of it, you know.
Hey,
basically,
Darnell, your birthday's coming up soon, isn't it?
Yep. November 10th, same day as the Marine Corps birthday.
Okay.
Oh shit. Hey, and when are you getting on the plane?
28th.
Okay.
Man, I can't wait to see this story.
Oh shit. You gotta film this one. Well, I mean, document it. You don't have to film.
Yeah, you don't have to film. Document it. You can film a little bit, but I see my boy Big Gans out there. I'm like, man, Big Gans is out there making it rain.
Nah, I ain't gonna be making it rain like that, man. In fact,
he's gonna have 2 people on his arm. He can't be making it rain. He got 2 mouths to feed. Still no sound.
3, don't forget him, Ronin. He gonna need to eat
That's
too.
true. Well, no, he can feed. He can eat off of their plates.
yeah.
Yeah, baby,
I don't need.
yours.
I don't need
I don't
much.
need much. See how skinny I am? I don't need much.
Yeah.
But yeah, government contracting is so lucrative. I didn't know you were into it, Juji, but yeah, that's what I did a lot. And I was in the era where they had the golden fucking hammer. You know what I'm saying? Where they already saw that some government contracts were overwhelmingly off-sided when it came to pricing of things. So they actually commissioned anybody in the government contracting inside the company. I mean, inside the government, like in the military, if you found something that was overpriced, they would give you a finder's fee.
Oh yeah.
You don't think we were tearing down and looking through every goddamn contracted item you can possibly get? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we tore them contracts out. We were looking for that next hammer, that next bolt, that next whatever that was so overpriced, they would wind up giving us a finder's fee for it.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
We can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to use my phone, man. Sorry about that, guys.
It's okay.
Oh, good.
Oh man, hey, True G, man. I probably gotta hit you up, man, offline, man. If I could get your number, that'd be great. We could just talk offline or whatever.
I'll throw it in the back chat because I'm not a LinkedIn, I'm not a Instagram or Facebook person
or any type of person like that.
Nah.
Okay, no problem, man. Yeah, but I mean, again, guys, this is a great topic, man. I know we could talk about traveling, women, all this stuff, but I think a lot of us are looking for ways to change, pivot from our current standing to do something completely different. And again, if you want to continue to live that travel life, you could do that, but why not do it making money on your own terms and not have to be forced to come back into the office,
Right.
Yeah. I have a question. Can you do this type of work as just a single operator?
Sure.
Oh.
Sure. Depends on what type of thing what they're asking for. You have to read the RFP to see what they're asking for. And if you can handle the scope of work as an individual or a privately held company, absolutely you can put in the bid. But like I said, the best way to handle a government contract, even as an individual, is a subcontractor on the larger bid from the primary.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? Because they always have to include a certain percentage of that bid to a small business.
Yep. Oh, small minority-owned business, unless Trump changed the laws. Yeah.
No,
unless
small
Trump changed.
business, small minority is a plus. Then small minority-owned woman's business is a plus.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh, by the way, guys, I wanted to answer a few questions. My background is in management consulting, marketing consulting, but also too, I wanted to explore other areas in offering janitorial services, event services, planning, lodging. So I'm looking at different areas where I could actually leverage my expertise in certain areas to actually provide those services.
Okay. Yeah, dude, I had a brother, one of my boys, he did 22 years fire truck maintenance. And during this 22 years with the Air Force, he's worked on a variety of different trucks, depends on what they're placing with models and stuff like that. So the older models are still out there, and man, they're looking for people who know those models. And my boy, I hooked him up with PTAC. He did everything, got it all set up with them. And man, he's he barely works it, but man, he showed me some of his checks, and I'm talking like, you're just ordering supplies. He was like, bro, that's all I ever did was order supplies. That's it. I ordered supplies for this base. I found the parts. I know how to find parts. And he's like, bro, I just made 20 grand ordering parts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, another thing too, you got to be wary of, just because you find a part that's cheaper, you do have to be very careful on certain things. Like if that part doesn't meet the standard needed, i.e., like let's say, I'm just picking an example here, but like jet engine aircraft, you have to have a certain type of O-ring. So just because an O-ring, you might find an O-ring half the price.
O-rings are not the same, so it has to meet certain standards, and Because if it doesn't meet that standard and it fails, it'll wind up killing people, or it'll wind up coming back to your company. You'll be sued for whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a lot of times
So
in
you
those
got to be
cases
careful
when
about that.
you're talking about parts for like aircraft or vehicles, there's something called a TO. We probably know as technical order. And
Right.
that technical order tells you where that part comes from or where how to attain that part. It's not like, hey, go down to the local Home Depot and get this
Oh
part.
no, it has to have a certain tensile strength. It has to have a certain shield. They're asking for a specific part they want it, sent out and found to be at the lowest price they can possibly get it at, obviously.
Yeah.
And they want you to supply it to them. So but it has to meet all the stringent requirements for whatever build they're using it for. That is the standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kunal. I mean, bro, if you're gonna get into that, I mean, I would try to, I know you said you're around management and marketing, and I mean something like that. Maybe look at some of the prime contractors who, I don't know, they may be offering that type of deal. I tell you, there's a contractor. I know Darnell. I know you. If I say this name, you're gonna be like, yeah, I know exactly who that is. Like Khaki, like look at Khaki.
Ever vigilant.
CACI. Look at them. That's a big prime. Khaki is. I know they do a lot of hiring around things like that in that nature.
Okay.
So CACI is called Khaki.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I worked with them. Good people, good company. True professionals too.
I know a lot of dudes that work for those dudes.
Yeah. And they actually take care of you. I mean, they take care of their employees. They really do.
Yep.
See, that's the wrong word you're using around Canoa, because he doesn't need to be an employee anymore.
Well, I mean, they're still contractors, but I'm just saying they take care of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They take good care of their people.
Yeah. They have a good reputation.
Yep.
SAIC is another good one.
Yeah, SAIC.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, who's the other one? Raytheon.
Raytheon, they're a real good paying contracting company, but like my previous experience, I was a sub under them. Mm-hmm. And man, they got some real shady ass people, kind of like what Kanal was saying earlier today about, I mean, you just make sure you go in there. Don't try to make friends.
Yeah. Also too, Kanal, look at Skillsoft. I think that's when Skillsoft is like they're training like I think Skillsoft is doing like more like the training that you kind of talking about, Skillsoft, where they're kind of like the transitioning part of military service into civilian life.
I thought they do disabled people though, don't they? Like people that are blind or with a disability.
No, you're talking about Skillcraft.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, you're right. My bad.
Yeah, you're talking about Skillcraft, the Nibnish, Ability One, those dudes that make those pins, and if you
there are some things that are made overseas, D-Ward. Yeah,
like those dudes that made if you were in when those dudes made the first set of PT gear, it was all fucked up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
So Drew, you work for the government then as the contract awarder.
Yeah.
Okay. So you more on the state, local, or federal?
He's basically a procurement officer, if you want to say it that way.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind asking some questions.
Yeah, man.
Well, he definitely understands. If you want to understand T's and C's, Drew G would know the T's and C's then.
Yeah.
Because I kind of figured like, okay, I could come in as a subcontract, not as a prime, but eventually I would love to position myself as a prime if I can. But in the meantime, hey, I'm willing to take the scraps just to learn the business, understand how things operate, and go from there.
Well, do this then. Go while you're there, go into sam.gov and see
Oh,
what
I already
opportunities
signed
are
up.
open right now,
Yeah.
and see see the opportunities that are open, and see what is there that okay, this fits my avenue of expertise of what I want to do.
Oh, I have. That's the point.
Yeah, and
I've
you found
listed.
those jobs. I mean,
Well,
you found those RFQs.
yeah, I found several that I know I could actually do, but in the
Okay.
meantime, because I don't have my cage code yet, I don't have like my stuff yet, I can't do anything. So I'm just looking at it. I'm reading the
Yeah.
contracts, and what I've been doing too, I've been leveraging ChatGPT. Like I'll take the contract, plug it in ChatGPT, and say, "Hey, pull all the important key criteria that I need to know about this contract," and
Smart man.
it'll spit it out to me. And okay, cool. And again, I'm just look, Drew, I'm just fucking with it. I'm like, all right, okay, what's the best approach for me to actually take this contract? And it'll provide me a list of strategies that I could take and how I should approach this contract. So
as
go
a
ahead.
bidder, you want to know the best strategy? Go back and look at the history of what the winning bids were over a 5 to 10 year period and see what the margins were.
Bingo.
You know what? There's actually a website that shows how to do that, and I remember there was a SAB when I was attending that 4-hour
That's how
SAB.
you win contracts. You go and look at what the other people did in order to win, and then you reverse engineer that based on current market rates on what you would need to project as far as the winning bid, and make sure you can afford to deliver it at that price. But again, like I said, once you get the award, whoever you got the price from to get the product, if you don't produce it yourself, you can always go back and say, "Hey, I got $1 million deal. I need your best and last price, or I might have to go shop it somewhere else."
So, and that's what I have to learn again, because I'm brand spanking new in this. I need to understand like how to get dictate the profit margin, what price point I should actually go in with. So it's just, again, it's going to be a learning process.
Do your historical research when it comes to the bid itself, and how many times it's been put out there to RFP or RFQ, and then what were the awarded bids based on profit margin.
Yeah. And then there are also times to performance as well. Now I don't know if there's a record of performance, but like there's some companies out there that they bid low and the performance on that contract just
the
deliverable
so bad. Was always a issue, and most likely that can't compete anymore after they get so many black marks. They got to go.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll be on what is called, like, I think it's excluded parties list.
Yeah.
EPL.
Yeah. You'll be able to participate if you get stuck on that list. Hell no.
But sometimes those EPLs, what they do is they just change their name.
Yes.
Go get another.
Go get a different name. Go change their LLC and try to jump back in. But if it's the same people, and the procurement officer remembers them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If that comes up again.
Yeah. Especially in the same sector, because each procurement officer specializes in certain types of things. Yep. And G can tell you that. So if it's the same type of product and they come back in even with a different name, but he remembers all the participating parties, he can scrutinize that bid to say, I need to know that you guys legitimately deliver this, because you guys are the same company or the same people that failed the last time.
But I'll tell you one thing, Kanal. As you look at those requirements, especially if you're in the commodity side of the house, not so much the services where you're dealing with, people, but on the commodity side where you're dealing with products,
services,
there's things that you can easily win. For example, there's let's say, for example, the government's looking for mattresses.
Yeah.
All right, you go out and find the mattresses and you price them and you bid on mattresses. There's been people who bid on mattresses.
They don't have no idea what the hell. All they did was look at the spec for the mattress, go to the mattress manufacturer, and procure the mattress at a certain rate so they can turn a profit.
Yeah.
So this one guy, when I was attending the workshop, he kind of shared his testimony. He actually provided procurement products, toothbrushes.
Yeah. Yeah.
To a military camp. And I'm like,
I would tell you guys this. This is the information I'm going to give you is already out there in the news. There is a air base that's being cleared right now. That from World War II.
World War II. I just read about that today.
Yep.
It's in the middle of the Pacific. It's called Tinian. It's very close to Guam.
They got to
And
retrofit that whole base.
and I would tell you this: they're gonna be looking for mattresses and ironing boards and irons and things like
Household
that.
products for people that are going to go on that island to
Yep.
do the maintenance and do the
Yep,
retrofitting
because
of the base.
they live in basically in bear base situations now, because
That's
we
what
haven't been
they're
on that
in.
island in for years.
Mhm.
Wow.
So they live in tent cities right now.
Yeah. And
So-
they're probably going to need concrete to repair the runway.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're going to need a lot of things. They're
Yeah, look
retrofitting
it
the
up.
whole
Look it up.
base.
The
Yeah.
island of Tinian, the Air Force is there. They basically found all the runways that have been growing over. They've been clearing it, megatons of green waste, the trees and
Mhm.
dirt and everything. They have to move out of the way. But because of this thing going on with China,
Yep.
they're opening up old bases because they got to be
Philippines
able to
is
move these
reopening.
aircraft.
They said 4 bases. We'll see how many they actually do open. But
Yep.
I'm moving over there in a prime situation, so
I
I
think
might,
you are.
as a optimum person that understands government contracting, I might even get involved in the game in the Philippines. you know,
Yeah.
for
Yep.
supplying certain services, being a veteran and understanding government contracting.
Yep.
You know?
I think that's a good plan for you. And like I think for even with you, Ronin, all else fails, man. America's side of the house, be in Guam.
Oh, I already
Guam's gonna be
know
that place.
about Guam. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you
That
said
was
you
gonna
were
be-
there before,
That
right?
was going to be that was going to be my I used to have a Guamanian that was stationed in my unit, so
Yeah.
we actually stopped in Guam. It's a little version of Hawaii.
Yep.
They
Exactly.
even have the same ships turned upside down, the same war memorials for those ships like they
Yep.
have in Hawaii.
Yep, certainly do.
Yeah, that was going to be my puddle jumping place when I had to leave the country to cycle back in.
hmm
I was going to go to Guam a couple times just to take a look at where it's at and what it's doing right now.
Yeah,
I was gonna
Guam is
that when I was,
popping, man,
jumping.
because I know some people that bought land, like houses right outside of the bases and things like that.
Mhm.
So, be careful. We out here in the dark now. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
still want to play? Go ahead.
Matter of fact, aren't you in Hawaii? Isn't that where your
Yeah.
daughter and son is?
Yeah, I'm
Man,
in
I
Hawaii
love
right now.
Yeah, you're on the Big Island still, right?
Yep.
Or did you go back?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Y'all
was at
can hear.
Kaneohe Bay on Oahu side, on the windward side of Oahu.
Oh
I
yeah,
was stationed there for 2 years.
yeah. I'm on the Big Island right now.
Another thing, Kanal, if I can ask, I mean, do you have an engineering background or do you have like imagination?
No, my background's mainly in tech and marketing sales. So that's my background.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, if you do have a bit of an imagination, I've heard this story. I don't know how true it is, but it is based on some truth. But allegedly, it was a black female soldier that invented the drip pans that the military uses. Basically, the military mandated they had to use these drip pans. So every time you park a Humvee or something, you had to carry this big ass fucking drip pan, and then you had to put it underneath.
Yeah.
And that thing, whoever that person is, I heard she allegedly just thought of the idea instead of them cleaning up the oil leaks and things, just put a drip pan underneath it as soon as you park the vehicle. And then there's another story of the HESCO barrier. Supposedly a woman invented the HESCO barrier, had this bright idea. Yeah. Had this bright idea. All they did was take like steel wire, cloth, and fill it up with dirt. So instead of pouring concrete and building, walls or chain link fence around the base, they just had the steel wire and cloth and made like a sack, and then just filled it up full of dirt. Then that was blast protection. So if you can ever think of things like that, hey, this can come in handy. That can really help you.
Oh yeah.
That's why I never retire.
Yep.
Mhm.
But definitely
there's
be
all
on the lookout for those requirements in Tinian. I think that's going to be the spot where they're going to need things.
Right.
But it's like I said, that man, I tell you, just starting out. I mean, that's I'm saying that, but it's not going to be easy because anything that you're getting here, like, and that's the challenge too that comes with when you're doing contracts in different regions and locations. Certain regions have harder customs issues,
Harder
shipping
requirements.
things.
Yeah.
There's lead times. Like when I was working out here in the Pacific, bro, the lead time coming from the mainland may be a month.
So the advantage is actually being in country or being close to that area. That way, you know what the resources are there.
Well,
Yeah.
That way, you can access the local.
My goal was to start mainly staying local, then branch off, to other states, but definitely stay within the United States. I don't want to branch off yet to overseas. Let me just focus everything local and stateside. Then once I get, once I build a name and I feel comfortable with it, then yeah, we could probably look at, servicing military bases outside the U.S. But I think just right now, there's so much opportunities here local, from the local and the state side, that there's really no need to actually go overseas yet.
Yeah.
And it's not just
Be careful.
Here's the thing. Let me say this real quick. It's not just federal contracts. There's county, there's state level RFPs and RFQs.
Yep.
So you can start there. Like I said, that multi-million-dollar deal started off on a county and went to state level.
Yeah.
We wound up doing the whole state, but it started off as a county RFQ. So you got to look at your counties too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm seeing this to be like my next career move. Like, I've been in the tech marketing space for 20 years, the ins and outs. So now it's time for me to, like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and pivot to this side of the business now and just make this as a career business move for me. So this is not something that's going to be like a quick money scheme.
Well,
it's
no, you like, do this until you die. That's the whole thing about government contracting. This is the end game right here.
Well, yeah, that's what it is to me. It's like, this is all or nothing. This is no, like, for me, there's no plan B. There's no plan C. This is it. Like, bro, if you're going to do it, you're going to do this shit for the next 10, 20, 15 years. Like, whatever. So, so that's why, like, I'm taking all this information. I'm going to these workshops. I'm going to these facilities, talking to these people, like, asking questions. Like, hey, I just want to learn, So when it's time for me to branch off, it's like, all right, I can do this shit the right way.
Yeah. Another thing too is soldiers don't cut grass anymore. They hire companies to do it.
Yeah, my cousin did the one down here in Louisiana and won it. So she cuts the grass and does some other things with a team of people.
The thing is,
whatever.
There are so many opportunities where I could explore. And again, this is where being more of a project manager, having my PMP certification, I could hire someone to do janitorial service or do landscaping. Like, hey, listen, I got a contract to provide landscaping service for the IRS building downtown Atlanta. Give me a deal. And
that's what you do. You leverage what you won to somebody else and get their best price to deliver it.
I can hire my son. Hey, I need you to go ahead and project manage this company that's providing, lawn care services. Make sure they're doing their job.
That's thinking outside the box. That's exactly what
you do. That's how I think in corporate. So I'm like, again, I'm literally just transferring the skills that I did in corporate, where you were measured based on profits and earning, put that shit towards on the public side.
Hello. This is exactly how you work it.
But like Drew said, I need to understand, and you said, and Darnell, I need to understand the mechanics of what goes on the public side. I need to understand that. It's completely different from the private side.
It is. But I mean, you're used to the sharks anyway. It's just a different type.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I got to jump off real quick.
Right.
Got to get the kid back home.
All right, brother.
No problem, man. Thank you, man.
Appreciate the call.
Yeah. All right. Peace.
Yep. Yeah. So instead of you dealing with Makos, you're dealing with great whites when it comes to government contracting.
Yep.
Way bigger.
Shows me I deal with a lot of fuck shit on the private side. Like, I think the public sector will be a cakewalk for me.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And like I said, you have inroads. Like I said, they have to partner with small Black-owned or minority-owned businesses, and so on. So you have inroads even on the larger bids. But like you said, you know, you're going to cut your teeth on some of the state or county deals. Get in with your county procurement office. Let them know what you're into, your LLC, and whatever their process is. It's almost similar to the federal government's. Get in with the county and see if they have RFQs and RFPs out there that you can respond to those, and see if you'll win a couple of those and start getting yourself, you know.
Like I said, Roland, we're going to have a one-on-one conversation, man. So stay tuned before you leave. So when are you scheduled to leave anyway?
I'm not leaving until next year.
When next year?
My goal is I'm out of here by February.
What?
By the end of February, I'm out.
Wow, that's
right around the corner. Yeah,
exactly. It was going to be February or April. April is the end of my lease here, so it's not too far away. So yeah, I will be there 100% of the time. I will stay in Manila for the first month, most likely, because I need to get indoctrinated in the Manila VA system and get myself set up with whatever I need to know within the country. And then I'll venture out closer to where she's at. But at least a month or two, I'll be based out of Manila, Cebu area.
Take my dad with you.
I am not taking anybody, bro. I'm trying to have a life. I'm not responsible for nobody. That's your daddy. You take care of your daddy.
I'm trying to convince him to go out there and, you know.
Need no partners. I got a whole partner I'm trying to recruit into. You get what I'm saying? Why am I taking somebody with me?
Hey, because my dad's skittish. He doesn't want to go.
Damn, that's not my issues.
All right.
Bro, that's your daddy. My daddy ain't around for me to have to do that shit.
Well, fellas, we're approaching the 2-hour mark. I know we didn't want to go beyond 2 hours.
My daddy, bro. Yeah, we're pushing almost 2 hours, so we already said we're gonna have a 2-hour limit. But
yeah, well, hey guys, this has been an amazing conversation, man. I learned a lot, and again, guys, I shared some things with you guys, and I'm looking forward to the next steps, the next path, the next destination. I know it's not going to be easy. I'm not going to be calling a couple of times, crying, hitting the walls or whatever. But hey, it's part of life, man. So,
hey, man, you got a good, solid support structure, man. We're all behind you 1,000%. You know,
I appreciate that, man. And that's the thing, man. That's one thing I want other brothers to see is stop viewing your next brother as an enemy, man. We need to create that comfort, that area where we can support each other and encourage each other. If you got something you want to do in life, hey, tell us, man. We encourage you. We'll support you. I think this whole thing about this beefing and everybody I see you overseas and I'm gonna do this and that, whatever. Man, come on, man. It's just too much.
Right. I agree with you.
Yep.
So with that being said, Roland, you want to close it out, man?
Just John. That's a young man that was on the podcast yesterday. His first trip after listening to a lot of us for over years was to Europe, and he hit up 5 countries in Europe. He didn't take the short route. He went straight to Europe, Canal.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah. I'm proud of him. I actually heard a story yesterday about the whole receipt sharing. Dude, you don't never feel forced to show receipts. And now if someone's talking shit and you want to show them receipts, go for it. But me, I'm all about showing receipts, man. You know me, Rolling, man. I was like, hey.
Oh, you famous for that.
But hey, I just want to say thank you, everybody, man. Rolling, go ahead and close it out, man.
All right, so like I said, we just wanted to chop it up for about an hour or two. We made it 2 hours almost, just under. I appreciate you, Passport Blueprint. Everybody, if you have time, subscribe to Passport Blueprint. He puts out some really good content when it comes to getting prepared to, actually move overseas, looking at digital nomading. He has different topics. They're not popular topics, but they're topics that you guys that are serious really need to know. This is one of the guys that's a resource in our community that you guys should be following. So
what's his name again?
Passport Blueprint. He's sitting right next to you. What's wrong with you doing now? You blind?
Yeah, I'm
well, technically I technically I am going blind, but yeah.
Hey, you get them cataracts or whatever fixed, brother.
Well, I had surgery October 7th. I had surgery. My right eye, I think, is good, but my left, I'm still having some issues in the left eye.
Okay, before we go down your whole medical history, Jess John sent in the last $2 super chat. Appreciate all you brothers. I think we appreciate you too. Like I said, we always encourage young men to travel and become the new examples, because as we rotate out, more people are rotating in every day. Yeah. So it's the battle of the attrition. You know, are you going to have the positive brothers influencing the new travel squad? Or are you going to have the bad deviant ones influencing the travel crews? You know what I'm saying? So now it becomes a battle of right and wrong in these streets when it comes to properly traveling and not giving us a black eye every time we go into a country.
Facts.
And to Kanal, don't worry about your situation. You was here in Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix is a bird that rises from the ashes, man. And that's what's going to happen.
Hello.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. It's
like, I mean, he's a Zoe, man. He gonna fight. He gonna fight until the last.
He's gonna rise out.
He's like a Zoe anyway, so he ain't going down like that.
You don't know. I got that machete ready.
Yeah, Ronin's gonna be busy with a whole wife and trying to build a house and kids and all that shit. And then here's my plan. So I told Kanal this, and I really don't want to tell a lot of people, because people like to try to dig and tell you what you can't do. My objective is to demonstrate what you should be doing at my age when you go overseas to find a wife. Objectively, once I get done there, I'm bringing her back here. And I'm going to repeat the same function of building a house and resources and everything here in Texas. So while everybody's talking about it and ain't doing it, you're going to see me do it. So just follow my channel.
All right, guys. You guys have a good night, man.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
Later, everyone.
We're going to go ahead and end this now.